Angela. I am a yoga therapist and founder here at MAR Integrative in Mill Valley, California. Today we're going to dive into everybody's favorite topic, poop. So this is a class that's designed for when you're feeling a little backed up, a little constipated. And we're really going to work on moving your digestion. So before we even move into the yoga practices, let's just talk a little bit about why this happens. So from an Ayurvedic standpoint, constipation is usually either associated with the Vata dosha or Kapha dosha. So Vata is air and ether, and so what happens when we have too much Vata moving, it will dry up our stools. It dries up our bowels, our digestion's really irregular, and we get kind of like a cakey, hard, not wanting to move colon. And with Kapha, it is earth and water. So when the earth element is out of balance, then we get this sludginess, and that's kind of generally a heavy feeling of a lot of stuff stuck in the colon, not wanting to move. So for both of these, the first thing you're going to want to do is begin to drink warm water. So taking sips of warm water throughout the day is going to help add moisture to your bowels, help them move. And the warmth, the element of warmth, helps to kindle your digestive fire to ensure that the stools are being properly formed. So begin with that and add that in around this practice. Make sure you're drinking plenty of warm water. For the practice today, the only prop you're going to need is a block. And if you don't have a block at home, no problem. Go ahead and you can use a blanket, fold it up. It can be longer, just a good amount of thickness, or you can use a pillow or a couch cushion works really well usually, or those couch throw pillows, the thicker, cushy ones. So make sure you have that before we begin, and then we can dive in. Begin standing and then bend your knees, bring your hands to your thighs, and we're going to begin engaging Uddiyana Bandha. This is the lock that is in between your pubic bone and your navel. You're going to squeeze it back and up. So as you engage that part of your abdomen, you're going to be on an exhale, round your spine. And as you inhale, soften your belly forward. Exhale, you're going to squeeze the low abdomen back. Inhale, you're going to soften forward. Don't worry about getting it perfect. Just worry about engaging, pressing your navel back towards your spine. Using the abdomen to squeeze. We're going to hold here for a couple breaths. Exhale it out. And then inhale, release, rise up, take a nice comfortable stretch. And then we'll come down to your hands and your knees. So moving nice and slowly, hands and knees. We'll do the same thing here. This is called cat-cow. As you inhale, you drop your belly, release any holding, create space. As you exhale, you engage that Uddiyana Bandha, tuck your tailbone, round your back. Creating space on the back body, but also again engaging to massage the intestines. Go ahead and cross your ankles, come back to lying on your back. Make sure your hips feel even and steady. And then we're going to begin rocking on the sacrum. So as you inhale, you get this arch in your low back, your tailbone points towards the ground. And as you exhale, you press your low back flat into the earth, your tailbone begins to point towards the ceiling. Inhale, the arch in your low back. Exhale, press it flat, engage your abdomen. Massaging the sacrum here on the ground, creating this nice sensation of movement through the intestines. And then on your next exhale, you're going to engage again that Uddiyana Bandha. Lift your head, lift your legs. Really engaged through the abdomen here. Your nose and chin points toward the ceiling. And then you really want to press down your abdomen. Even though it wants to lift up, you want to extra engage by pressing it down towards the ground. You can release your head down here. And then you're going to cross your right ankle over your left. As you exhale, you're going to lift your hips up and you're going to shift side to side like a doggy wagging his tail, bringing one hip at a time towards the armpit on the same side. So your right hip towards your right armpit, your left hip towards your left armpit. You want to minimize the rocking back and forth, but if you have to do it, it's okay. You just want to make sure that you're engaging through your abdomen and you're getting a decent bit of firm contact on the ground. And if you're not getting any lift, that's okay. You're just going to keep the attempt. Go ahead and come to center. You're going to switch your ankles, lift your head up again. So you're re-engaging through the abdomen, pressing your abdomen into your intestines, helping to move things. If you want to bring your hands down by your side, if that feels more supportive, you can. And you can even use your arms a little bit to get some lift. But again, ensure that you're engaging through the abdomen. Exhaling as you lift, inhaling in between. So it's a quick, rapid breath. Good, just a few more. Really engaging through the abdomen, massaging the intestines, and then release. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Give them a good squeeze here. Nice tight squeeze, pressing your thighs into your intestines. Squish, squish, squish. And then go ahead and release your right leg to the ground. Just squeeze your left leg in. So your colon is on the left side. So here, really use your thigh to press into your belly, press into your organs as much as you can. Give it a nice big squeeze. And then lift your leg and drop it. Try to not hold any tension. Try to release all tension on the drop. And then go ahead and take that left knee in your right hand, draw it over to the right side of your body for a twist. Look out over your left fingertips. Now, if this feels too tight on your low back, or if you have low back trouble, you can bend both knees so that they're together. That'll release a little bit on your low back. And you can also put a block or something between your knees for added support. The real intention here is going to be focusing on the exhale. So surprise, surprise, again, we're going to engage Uddiyana Bandha. You're going to press your navel back towards your spine with every exhale. So as you inhale, it's going to flood in naturally. And as you exhale, you're going to engage the abdomen, pressing back, squeezing, wringing yourself out. Press, press, press. When you think you're done with the exhale, press a little bit more. If you want to bring your knee up towards your armpit a little further to deepen the twist, you can. Wringing yourself out. And then come on back. Give that knee a squeeze again, and then lift the sole of the foot towards the ceiling. You're going to take a half happy baby, and you can either hold the back of your thigh, you can bend the right knee if there's tightness. You could also hold your ankle or the outer edge of your foot, or you could take your peace fingers around the big toe here. Wherever your hand is not so important. What's important is that you're getting a squeeze between your thigh and your colon here. Pressing the thigh in. You're also getting an opening along the back side of the leg, getting some compression in the hip. Just a couple more breaths, and then you can bend the right knee and take the left foot over the right knee for a figure 4 stretch, just for a moment. We're not going to be here very long. Just a little hip opening. And then go ahead and release the right foot to the ground, and the left foot will come over to the right side. So you're getting this big opening along the left side, all this spaciousness from your armpit to your hip, opening, stretching. Let your breath be natural. Let the space move into your colon, finding a stretch. And then we'll come back to center, and we'll release the left foot down. Draw the right knee into your chest now. You can straighten the left leg out. And give that right knee a squeeze. Hold it into your chest, pressing now into your ascending colon, the intestines. Giving a squeeze, holding that thigh, pressing into your abdomen. Just a couple more breaths. And then you can go ahead and loosen the grip there. Loosen the grip on your shin. Lift your leg up towards the ceiling. And again, we're going to drop it, letting go of any tension. Lifting and releasing. Just releasing. One more time. Good. And then take that right knee in the left hand and draw it over to the left side of your body, coming into a twist. Again, taking any variations you need to on this side. But really focusing on the exhale, focusing on wringing yourself out. Every time you exhale, you squeeze your abdomen back, and at the bottom of your exhale, when you feel like you are done breathing out, just press out a little bit more. So you're really, really wringing yourself out. It's not supposed to be comfortable. There is effort in this pose. You're releasing any tension or holding from your shoulders, your arms, your hips, but you're really staying engaged through your abdomen. In this version, we're wringing yourself out. Big exhales. Releasing as much as you can. Pressing your abdomen into your intestines. You're wringing yourself out, squeezing yourself like a tube of toothpaste. And then go ahead and roll back onto your back. Squeeze the right knee towards the armpit. Again, you can take any variation you need to. If you want to bend the left knee, if you want to hold the thigh, the ankle, the outer edge of the foot, or the big toes. Those are all great options. And then you're going to bring that knee in towards your armpit. In whatever version you're in, you just want to get that opening along the back body, a little compression through the hip. And on this side, we're kind of pressing into, again, the intestines. A little squeeze. Let your breath be natural. Just enjoy the opening of the stretch. And then you can go ahead and bend the left knee, take the right ankle over the left knee. We'll thread the needle or take the figure 4 stretch just for a couple of breaths. Again, a little bit of a hip opener, but we won't be here for very long. And then you can release that left foot down, roll the right foot over to the left side, finding this length through the right side from the armpit to the hip, letting your breath be natural, surrendering any effort here. Some poses will be effortful and some will be relaxing, softening, surrendering any effort. We're surrendering effort here. And then go ahead and come back to center. Place both feet on the ground. Take a moment to adjust your hips as needed. Adjust your shoulders. Press back into your head so you feel stable. And then bring both knees into the chest. Squeeze here. Squeeze your thighs in as much as you can, and then you can let them soften away from you. Trying to get a little bit of a rock through the sacrum. Trying to lift the sacrum a little bit off the ground. Again, releasing your arms down to the ground. And then engaging, same part of the abdomen, the lower part of the belly. So as we engage this Uddiyana Bandha, this space between the navel and the pubic bone, we're creating a lock and a release. So we're pumping energy into this part of your body, this area of your body, which is dominated by Vata. It is your colon. So just do a few more of these, rocking your knees in and away. If you can, lift your sacrum up, wonderful. If not, it's okay. And then give your knees a hug and release your feet to the ground. Release your feet really wide. Bring your knees together. Your feet are as wide as your mat, if not wider. And then you can release both knees over to one side, keeping those feet far apart. And then here, you're going to start massaging your colon. You're going to go Find your lower rib and then slide your hand down all the way towards your pubic bone. And then you can really just go halfway, like over from your navel, moving left, and then go down, just massage downward towards your hip. You might even feel some substance there. You might be able to feel your colon, and you can just press into it. And then go ahead and lift your knees. We'll come back to center. Adjust your hips. Make sure your feet are really wide, and then rock both knees over to the other side. And here we're going to massage the ascending, the upward moving. From your hip, you're just going to stroke gently, or you can press firmly if that's feeling good, upward towards your heart. You're not going to go past your ribs. You're really just going to go about halfway to your ribs. Massaging upward. And then release. Bring both knees back up. You're going to grab your block or your blankets, pillows, whatever you have. You're going to place it under your sacrum. So you can either go from sitting and lay over it, or you can lay back down onto your back. Lift your hips and slide your prop right underneath your sacrum. And then from there, if you don't have any low back issues, straighten your legs out. If you do, please keep your legs bent. If your low back feels cranky on a regular basis, keep your knees bent. Otherwise, we're going to stretch and create all of this opening, lengthening through the front of our body, reaching your legs away from your fingers. And then go ahead, bend your knees, remove your block from underneath you. And rest for a moment before rolling to your side. And coming into a downward dog when you're ready. And just pause for a moment to let the backs of your legs open. You can pedal out your feet if it feels good. Just letting this downward flow of energy through the legs. So we're going to come into a nice low lunge. Taking that left foot forward, the right knee lowers down, untucking the right toes, and you can rise up. Press firmly into both feet. We want the apana, the downward flow of energy. So releasing, and then lower your hands back down and straighten your back leg. You're going to take a lunge, so we're going to keep the back heel lifted, but we're going to press back into the back heel so we're long through your right leg. And then lower your hands down, find downward dog again. Pedal out your feet, take a moment, downward flow of energy. And then you can take your right foot forward, lower your left knee, untuck your left toes, rise into this low crescent lunge. Again, press into the top of your left foot, press down into your right foot. You want the downward moving energy, apana vayu, the wind that's moving downward. Go ahead and lower your hands. Tuck your back toes under, lift the back leg, and press firmly into both feet. So press down into your right foot, press back into your left. You can rise your arms up if you want to. You can always leave your hands down on your thighs or the ground if that's where you're at today. And then go ahead and lower your hands, and you're just going to pivot over to the side. Taking a wide-legged stance. Bring your heels in, your toes out, lift your torso, taking a goddess pose. Again, the downward moving energy. So as you exhale, you're coming deep into goddess, and as you inhale, you're going to extend everything up straight. Exhale, pull in, elbows down, knees out. Inhale, reach up. Hold down and drop your hips a little lower. Apana vayu, downward moving energy. Go ahead and come to a seat. You're going to sit in the middle of your mat. And you're going to tuck your right leg in towards your left hip, and then you're going to take your left leg over the right and squeeze it in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then go ahead and lift your right arm and twist over to the right. Again, focus on the exhale. Every time you exhale, you're pressing back, engaging that lock, that Uddiyana Bandha. And as you inhale, you release. So you're pumping energy into your lower abdomen, into your colon and your intestines. And then inhale, come forward. Just slide that top foot over a little bit. So your knees are going towards stacked, but if you need to press something, place something in between them for support, you may. And then you're gonna fold over the legs. So while we're, yes, getting a hip opener here, we're also pressing into the organs a bit. Softening for just a couple breaths. And then rise on up. We'll switch the legs. Take that right leg under, left leg over for the twist. You're gonna sit up nice and tall. Squeeze the left thigh in. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Give it a hug. And then release your right hand behind you. Left arm goes up and then presses into the outer edge of the knee for the twist. And again, the real work here is in your exhale. So it's to be effortful, a lot of effort in the exhale. Pressing your abdomen back with every exhale. When you think you're done breathing out, breathe out a little bit more. Big exhale. And then on your next inhale, you can begin to unwind, come forward and just slide that top foot over to the other side a bit. Gomukhasana. Again, if you need to place something between your knees, you may. And then fold over the legs. Couple breaths, getting that pressure in the abdomen. And then go ahead and rise on up. Uncross your legs, last pose. Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet come together. And you can either do this while you're sitting up or you can lie down and then bring the soles of the feet together. Knees are wide. And if you need some support under your knees, like if you feel like there's some tension or holding in your hip flexors, please slide a blanket, pillows, something under your knees for support, so that you can totally let go of any holding, of any effort, and surrender into this shape. So we're just wanting this to be completely effortless. The intelligence of the pose informing our bodies and opening the channels. Soften your breath. Surrender your efforts. Find a deep sense of stillness and surrender in this pose. When you feel ready to, you can lift your knees and come to Shavasana. Total surrender in Shavasana. And you can stay here as long as you'd like. Thank you for practicing with me today. Please leave a comment or a review.